What's up everybody, Mike here doing a truck update video today, and even though it's still been a little bit cold outside and there's still plenty of snow to go around, I have been very busy. So first things first, I got my tow mirrors installed. Very happy with the look of them. I think it makes the truck look a lot different and very good, as well as I also installed the little 13-inch rubber antenna over there. It kind of gives it a more utilitarian, kind of off-road, almost military look. I like it. Get rid of that big fishing pole. You definitely don't need that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show just the progress of the truck. That way, if anybody's interested in just seeing what it looks like now and seeing how it's coming along, they can check that out. But I am going to include all of the install videos and all the work to the truck at the end of the video, or really kind of in the middle for the rest of the video. So if you are interested in that, definitely stick around and check it out. I went through and I tried to make a very good tutorial for this stuff to show people how to do it in case, you know, anybody else has a truck like this. They want to kind of do the same things I'm doing or whatever, and hopefully it just helps some people out. But I also, you know, I'm going to be doing most of the work to this truck myself, so I wanted to include that in the process, so I filmed that as well. Aside from the mirrors and the antenna, I also removed the side steps, as you can see, so truck looking a lot cleaner without those. I definitely don't like chrome, and I think it just looks, it gives the truck a little bit more height. It looks a little bit higher without them, and just looks a little cleaner. But you'll notice that I did leave the mounts for the steps in case I do decide to go with NFAB steps or whatever. Or a lot of people had suggested amp steps that kind of, they come out when you open the door and then they retract when the doors close, which I like a lot. I actually didn't know that those were a thing, so you know, thank you to everybody for suggesting that. That's why I love this. You know, I post videos and I get, you know, hundreds and hundreds of suggestions from people about what I should do, products that I didn't even know about. So you know, it's definitely helpful to have an entire community of people that have had experience and saying, hey, you know, some of these parts are cool. So definitely something that I will check out. I'm still exploring my options though. You know, I haven't decided on a number of different things, but this is just kind of how the truck is coming along so far. The last thing I did for the truck here was I raised it up about 1 inch in the front, just cranking the factory torsion bars, and I have a whole rant coming on torsion bars and torsion bar keys later on in the video. But as the truck currently sits, I am very happy with it. I think it's coming along really well, and just those little modifications really change the look a lot. So I can't wait to see, you know, what it looks like as it starts to come together more and more. So the next thing I'm going to tackle is an exhaust, and then after that will be time for a lift and wheels and tires. And I'm going to do those at the same time just because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me to do a lift and not have the wheels on, because this will just look silly with these little stock wheels and tires. And if I get the tires first, you know, they're absolutely massive, so it's going to take up a lot of quite a lot of room in my house if I just buy the tires and have nowhere to put them. But this is how it looks so far. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and anyway, let's go ahead and cut to the install videos. So before we start, I just wanted to go over all the tools that you're going to need for this installation. And sorry, the camera's going to be a little bit shaky because I don't have my stabilizer out here with me. But anyway, standard ratchet, and then this is going to make your life a lot easier. This is a little body pin like pry tool. That definitely helps a lot. T20 Torx screwdriver, a 7mm deep socket, a 10mm deep socket, and what really helps also is a 6-inch extension. So not a whole lot, not too complicated, generally a pretty easy job. And anyway, let's get to it. Alright, so first step is pretty easy. You just take out this corner trim piece along with the foam insulation inside. Then step number 2 is where you're going to use your little body pry tool, and you're going to take out the door lock, and then you're going to go ahead and remove the 7mm screw behind it. Go ahead and remove that little plastic cover, and then this is where your T20 screwdriver comes in. There's also another little body pin on this side that you'll need to remove. Next, go ahead and remove this door handle trim piece. And then you'll notice up behind the door handle here, there's another 7mm screw that's going to have to be removed as well. Alright, so then you can go ahead and take the door panel off of the truck. It comes out really easily. You just lift up and away from the door, and you'll see that it comes out like really easily. It's not hard at all. And then you're going to go ahead and remove the mirror wiring harness, which is those wires right there, and you'll see here in a second. So you can see the wires from the harness coming down here, and you just have to kind of take it back through the plastic and get it out from behind it, and then you can go ahead and take it out. But first you have to remove these 3 10mm bolts as well. And here's a pro tip: don't be a moron like me and drop one of the bolts down behind the door. Got my little magnet here, and luckily it didn't fall all the way down in, but yeah, don't be an idiot. Definitely a good opportunity after the mirror is off to clean some of this gunk out. You can see quite a bit of dirt and stuff has collected behind this mirror over the last 11 years, which is understandable. It's actually not too bad considering it's been that long. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and clean this out, and then we'll be ready to install the new mirrors. Okay, so I just finished up with one side, and I wanted to take a video so you could see the difference. So that's what it looked like before. You can see over here is what it looks like after, and I think the difference is, of course, night and day. It looks really good. I'm loving the tow mirror look. I can't wait to install the other side to see what it looks like, you know, when it's finally done. But yeah, it was a pretty easy install. This was my first time ever installing tow mirrors or anything, but it was pretty easy and straightforward. It took about, I was filming and it took like an hour. So if you were not, you know, worried about a camera or anything, it would probably take you like 20 to 30 minutes at the most. It's pretty easy. The only thing I would recommend is that some things that I learned along the way that would help is definitely have a magnet in case you drop something down in the door like me and you're a little bit of an idiot. And then also having your window down helps too, just so you can kind of, if you need to see anything, go around to the other side and look at it. But it's pretty straightforward. Everything came apart really easily, went together just as easily, and I didn't have any issues at all. So hopefully this installation video helps somebody else out there. Alright, so second thing we did was take out the side steps, and this was really easy. There's just one bolt on each side holding it on to the little brackets here up at the top and here at the back, and it was really easy. Mine was not rusted on too bad or anything, so it didn't require a whole lot of effort to get it off. I can imagine if yours is really rusted or something, it might have been a little bit more difficult, but took me all of about 30 seconds. So yeah, now the side steps are off. So the last thing that we want to do is raise the front end up of the truck a little bit, and you accomplish this by cranking or just adjusting your factory torsion bars. Now the great thing about a torsion bar setup is that a lot of different trucks use this, and it's very easy. Tons of different brands, different models of trucks, they all use a very similar system. So it's really easy to go ahead and adjust these, and let's get underneath the truck and check it out. So underneath the truck, you'll notice that from this cross member all the way to the front is, just as it sounds, a bar. And the way you can adjust this bar is by turning this little bolt here. Turning the bolt to the right is going to increase the twist of the bar and raise your truck. Turning it to the left is going to do the opposite. And this little oddly shaped thing in here, if you can see, I don't know, I'm trying to get a good angle here, but it is a little bit difficult. This is your torsion bar key. And here's where the rant comes in, because you can adjust these from the factory. You can turn the bolt a couple full turns and it'll raise your truck up an inch, maybe an inch and a half. And I would recommend to stay about an inch or less. That's going to increase the height without destroying your ride quality or anything like that. The problem is the more you raise the front end of the truck, the less travel you have in the front shock absorbers. So that's why when you crank your torsion bars, your ride gets a little worse. And these are all within factory specs. So raising your front end up a little bit by adjusting this, this is all factory. This is not aftermarket or anything. So this is totally free, and it takes about 5 minutes to do this. And what I would recommend is just take measurements of your fenders up front before you do this. That way you make sure that the truck is still sitting even. So take measurements before and after and make sure that the increase on each side is the same, because you have to do it over here, and then there's an identical one over there you have to do. There's one on each side. So, you know, the whole thing is that these are within factory specs. If you stay really conservative with it and just like I did, raise the front end up about an inch, you're not going to run into any problems whatsoever. The problem with aftermarket torsion bar keys, and now this is a very popular thing because you look on Rough Country or anything, and you'll see, you know, there's so many different sites that offer a torsion bar key set. And, you know, they all pretty much say the same thing. Replace your factory torsion bar keys, and it raises the front end of your truck up without damaging the ride quality or anything like that. The truth is that's not possible. You have to, the way a torsion bar works by design, it's not possible to adjust it to raise the bar at all, whether it be a key or whatever, and not hurt your ride quality. It's just because the more twist you put on the bar, the more load you're putting on it. So your ride quality is going to get worse unless you do a whole bunch of front end stuff as well. So you can't just swap in aftermarket torsion bar keys and, you know, like the ads say right there on the websites, it's like, you know, maintain the factory specs, don't change anything, but you put this key in and all of a sudden like your truck is raised up 2 inches, but everything else is still the same. That's just not the case. So aftermarket torsion bar keys, in my opinion, total waste of money. You can do the entire adjustment here within the factory specs, and if you want to go higher than this, so in other words, if you feel like you can't get a high enough lift with this, then you're going to have to buy a real lift, because yes, aftermarket torsion bar keys will allow you to crank the bars even farther, which is all that they do. They basically make the adjustment so that you can go up a lot more than with the stock setup. So yeah, you can go up a lot more, but it's going to put a lot of strain and mess up your angles up in the front, and it's just not a good system. So if you want to raise the front end up of your truck more than 2 inches, I would say your best bet is just to go with a real lift. If you just want it up a little bit to level it out, maybe an inch, maybe an inch and a half, if you're pushing it, just do the factory modification here, and you don't have to spend any money at all. Alright, so that's going to pretty much do it for the modifications for the truck today, and we did quite a lot. Tow mirrors, side steps removed, raised the torsion bars up, so things are coming together pretty well here on the truck. But anyway, I hope you guys found these videos helpful and entertaining. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and take care. Have a great day.